So twice a week, and not just normal students or normal people would come to these classes, but even people who are highly qualified teachers, from the religious teachers. One of them, for example, I remember that he studied with the Sheikh Al-Albani while he was in his shop repairing watches, until into this systematic studies he became a doctor, PhD, into Hadith. And in his classes, while he teaches the students in Syria and Damascus, actually he was graduated in his PhD from Germany, outside. So he went to teach in Damascus, and he says, this is really amazing. How can I teach Hadith to you while the teacher of the teachers is in a watch repair shop? I'm teaching you the Hadith because I'm called doctor, PhD. But the person who is the teacher of the teachers, he is my teacher, the teacher of my teachers. He is now repairing watches in a shop. But because he's not having this systematic or the called qualification, you know, that's why they don't put him as a teacher in universities. Of course, the Sheikh, later on, he was taken to Saudi Arabia to be the teacher of the University of Medina, but that's based upon because of Sheikh bin Baz. He had given this tazkiyah. Otherwise, these people, for example, if you now teach in some of the countries, what sort of qualification do you have? They don't ask you who's your teacher. Qualification in terms of, have you got BSc? Huh? Have you got MSc? And BSc and MSc and PhD, I'm sorry to say to you, maybe it's good in other fields, but in religion, it is not really that what you think. Because most of it is that the student himself, when he became a PhD in a specific topic in religion, you have to look into the history, how he became into that field. In our country, or the Muslim countries, except for a few, that is, religion comes at the end, and it's the lowest. So if a person who is in the school system, as a teenager, the first thing comes to his mind to be either a pilot, a doctor, an engineer, but those needs what? High marks in your GCSEs to get into the university to study such a thing. But you're not going to get these high marks, so you get these thick students who get 60 below, 60% below. 60% below, oh, religion faculties is open for you. Religious faculty is open for you. So he goes to the religion because his what? He doesn't like the religion, it's because of his what? His mark. But this is a system. So now when you're a thick person, you're going to make him BSc, still he's thick. And then he comes as well into MSc, still thick, but with the title. PhD with thick and title. That's most of them. So he's a PhD person, but thick. And that is why he will be there into that field. If you move him a bit, he doesn't understand anything. And that is why maybe he will spend his life, for example, searching into a hadith, as Sheikh Mashur, he said. That's why he left the studies as well, Sheikh Mashur. He left it the second year, he left it. He was in the university, and he left it. Because he thought that his teacher is telling him to make a research about a hadith which is mawdu', fabricated. Why? Because the doctor of his is thick. He understands this, oh, make this hadith, oh, why should I spend my time investigating a hadith which is what? Fabricated. Prophet didn't say it. That's why he left the studies. And he had made his first book when he was in his first years of studies. And when he made the doctor, PhD, his teacher, to make an introduction for it, in the introduction of that book, and I know it, which is Kitab al-Muhammad, which is to do with Muhammad. Muhammad means lawyership, to be a lawyer. He said that this person, he is in his first studies and he's making me to make an introduction as for him, and wallahi, his knowledge is more than my knowledge. The Sheikh Mashhur at his first stage. So here, as I said to you, you find from these people who are graduated, and I'm sorry to say that, but it really irritates me when I find that one of my friends, he was praying in his own masjid, that one day this person who is a leader, an imam, who sets an example as a model for others, right, he was doing, I can't remember which one, the sujood tilawa or sujood sahw, one of them. he was doing sujood tilawa or sujood sahu. You understand me? Either he forgot something and he made sujood sahu, or he made a prostration for recitation. He read a verse, and instead of saying Allahu Akbar, he said sujood tilawa or sujood sahu. One of them. I'll tell you one of them because I'll tell you what has happened after it, because he's setting a model. I have an example to be followed. Sujood tilawa. Some of the people, was astonished, but they can't dare to ask because he's got a PhD. Thick PhD, so I call it thick PhD. PhD? Well, they can't say anything. But one of them, what is this? He said, you have to tell the people, they have to know. I couldn't answer. And my friend, he is just like maybe, what I could say, a taxi driver. How can a taxi driver challenge somebody who's PhD? People will not listen to him. But you know that this person is thick. So he said to the people, this is wrong. Who are you? Who is he? He's a PhD. He said, well, he did not have his PhD until he had failed in his GCSE. That's why he had his PhD. Now, later on, 3-4 months later on, another person. Let's say that doctor said, sujood tilawa. Now this incident, the other one, it's a sujood sahu. One of them had done this, I don't know. So the other incident, this person who had led the prayer and the doctor was not there, the PhD man. And he's not even MSc or something. And he was sujood sahu. So he said, sujood sahu. And he read, after the prayer, I asked him, what is happening? He said, analogy, qiyas on sujood tilawa of the doctor. PhD, he's done this. So make it qiyas. Do you understand that? Analogy. He done this, must be as well. Anything that happened was sujood tilawa. Because it's set to you, it's set as a model. And that is why I said to you, that is what had happened. In the Sheikh al-Albani this time, he was repairing watches while his student who was grown up to graduate from his hadith until he reached PhD and he got it from outside the country, came back to teach and he said, Wallah, it is shame on me to go and teach you hadith while the teachers of the teachers, he is repairing watches in his shop. And this man, he was in Germany or whatever country it was outside, and he used to have lots of shubuhat, doubts given to him by his PhD professors regarding his religion. And he used to send messages, letters to the Sheikh al-Albani. And the Sheikh al-Albani, to have some help, support me. Sheikh al-Albani used to as well reply to him, how to reply upon these people who are, they call him Orientalists, or doctors or PhDs, who are trying to put doubts in the mind of the students. Yarhamukallah.